Hello, everybody. My name is Roy Nemmer of Mundo Albiceleste.com, and welcome to another video. And this time around, we are going to discuss the preliminary Argentina list for the two friendly matches in September in the United States. Argentina national team coach Lionel Scaloni has announced his preliminary list of players for those two matches, and there are one or two surprise inclusions, and we are going to get to all of it. So let's just get to it. Let's look at the list of players that Scaloni has called up for the matches against Honduras and Jamaica. So we have Franco Armani, Emiliano Martinez, Juan Musso, Geronimo Rulli. Once more, Scaloni going with 4 goalkeepers. He is persistent for goalkeepers there. Continuing on, we have Gonzalo Montiel, Nahuel Molina, Germán Pasela, Facundo Medina, Christian Romero, Nehuan Perez, Lucas Martinez Cuarta, Nicolas Otamendi, Lisandro Martinez, Nicolas Tagliafico, Marcos Acuna, Leandro Paredes, Guido Rodriguez, Enzo Fernandez, Rodrigo de Paul, Ezequiel Palacios, Papu Gomez, Gio Lo Celso, Alexis McAllister, Paulo Dybala, Angel Correa, Lionel Messi, Thiago Almada, Angel Di Maria, Nicolas Gonzalez, Joaquin Correa, Lautaro Martinez, and Julian Alvarez. And a lot of names, some no surprises whatsoever, some kind of surprises. The first one, so Enzo Fernandez, that's the big one. That's the one that everyone's really been asking about. The man from Benfica, a stellar start to this season. If you missed it, we have a video up on the YouTube channel talking about Enzo Fernandez's move to Benfica. In my opinion, a very, very good player, and one that suddenly finds himself with a chance to make it to Qatar for the World Cup with Argentina. The question is, if he is there, does he replace someone? Does someone ultimately lose their spot? Alexis McAllister, in my opinion, is arguably the Argentine midfielder in the best form, along with Enzo Fernandez with Brighton. He's been absolutely solid in the Premier League this season. A well-deserved call-up. He's kind of been a late inclusion for Scaloni. He started getting called up in 2022. This year, he started some matches, and now he started some matches because some players, for example, Gio Lo Celso, he was suspended because of the whole Brazil incident in the Premier League and COVID. So Alexis McAllister got his chance, and he took it. He took it. So he continues to be involved in the national team. The other one, obviously, Enzo Fernandez, we spoke about. And the other big name in here is Thiago Almada. A lot of people are questioning why Almada, who is Almada? So Almada plays for Atlanta United in the MLS in the United States, and he's only 21 years old. He's previously been part of the youth teams for Argentina, so part of the Olympic team, the last Olympic team for Argentina. He is a midfielder, more central, can at times play out wide, definitely left wing, right wing, but I would say more central. And I am surprised, but at the same time, I'm not. And to a certain degree, I would not be surprised if we were to make the actual list for these two matches. Hear me out. Hear me out. These two matches are being played in the United States. The first match in Miami, Florida against Honduras on September 23rd, and the second one against Jamaica, September 27th in New York or New Jersey at the Red Bull Arena. And Almada plays in Atlanta. Now, geographically speaking, Atlanta, Georgia is not that far away, really, from Miami, Florida. And maybe, just maybe, Scaloni wants to have a look at Almada, not necessarily for the World Cup, but maybe just to see how he does against the rest of the team in training. How's he performing? Is he, potentially national team level? Because a lot of people will look at Almada's name and say, well, he plays in the MLS, plays in the United States. If he was really worthy of being called up to the national team, especially so close to the World Cup, he would be playing for a Champions League contender team or a top European team or a top South American team. Now, I'm not saying that Almada will make the team and he's going to crack the squad and crack the 11 and make it to the World Cup. Absolutely not. I really don't think so. And However, what I am saying is give him a shot, see how he does. Maybe Scaloni's looking for the future. Maybe Scaloni is looking after the World Cup. How is he going to do? Right? If he performs well in training, great. Scaloni knows what Almada is capable of. So maybe after the World Cup, we get to see Almada in the national team for Argentina. The fact that he doesn't really have to travel too far, still within the same country, Florida, like I said, not far from Georgia where he plays. So maybe it's just that. Maybe it's just that. And as far as the whole playing in the MLS stuff, I'm of the idea that talent is talent, no matter where you play, and everyone to a certain degree has to start somewhere. Some players are late bloomers. Some right from the get-go, from the youth teams, they just do extremely well. And for me, Almada falls into that category of talent is talent, no matter where you play. No matter where you play. He's still young. He's still only 21. So if he performs very well right now with Atlanta, which is what he's doing, but if he performs very well with Atlanta, and next season he suddenly signs for a European club, doesn't matter the club, Champions League level, Europa League level, doesn't matter. Does that automatically mean that, well, we're getting a different Thiago Almada, therefore, because he suddenly plays in Europe, he's worthy of being called up to the national team? To be honest, I don't think so. I don't think so. Now, I get it. It's the whole, maybe it's the stigma. Maybe people look at the MLS and say, well, it's not at the same level as certain, European leagues. And that's fair. I'm not going to argue that. But talent is talent. If he performs well in the MLS, which he is, again, I don't see a reason why he would not perform against other teams or, in different leagues. Is it the same quality of level? Again, I'm not going to argue, maybe not. But it doesn't mean he's not ready to play at that quote unquote, higher level. So I know a lot of people looking at Almada and saying there's no way he doesn't deserve to be in the national team. Look, I'll be very honest. I was surprised. When I saw his name, I was absolutely surprised. I know a lot of people ask about him. We get questions on social media and questions on the website on mundoalbiceleste.com. But now that we actually get him, who knows? Maybe let's see what he can do. Maybe he could impress Scaloni in training. And like I said, maybe after the World Cup, he can make the team, right? I'm not expecting him to make the World Cup. I think he doesn't really have much of a chance, if at all. And to a certain degree, I would even be surprised if he does get called up for these two matches in the United States. Would I be surprised if he is? No, because of the reasons that I just mentioned. Would I be surprised if he's not? At the same time, no, I wouldn't. So that's the whole thing regarding Thiago Almada for me. Now, there are some notable absences. Juan Foyth. Foyth was part of the last squad, performing well for Villarreal, got injured. And before he even got injured, there were several reports that Barcelona were close to signing him, that they wanted to sign him. And this is a major setback for him. Let's be honest. This is a major setback because at one point, and maybe he's still being considered by Scaloni, but he is or was being considered for the World Cup for Argentina. Now, because of his injury, it's not necessarily a long-term injury, but it's enough to keep him out of the two matches against Honduras and Jamaica. So he's missing. How does that affect his chances for the World Cup? We're going to have to wait and see. Now, the other player that is not there is Marcos Senesi. And about a year ago, everyone was talking about Senesi. Why isn't he in the national team? He deserves to get called up. He's playing well in the Netherlands. Fast forward to June of this year, or slightly before June, Roberto Mancini, the Italian national team coach, reports that he's going to call Senesi up for Italy. Senesi reportedly refuses, says he wants to represent Argentina. Lionel Scaloni calls Senesi up to the team for the two matches in June against Italy and Slovenia, and Senesi makes his senior Argentina debut in June. Absolutely great. Senesi, part of the squad, at least for those two matches. Now, get to September, he has switched squads. He's no longer playing in the Netherlands. He's now playing in the Premier League, and he's playing for Bournemouth. And Bournemouth, for different reasons, not performing very, very well, not doing too well in the league. And Senesi suddenly finds himself out. He's not part of the team, and he's not part of the team. And this is essentially, maybe the last call up prior to the World Cup. There is a friendly match that is set in November, but in all likelihood, that's going to consist of only the players for the World Cup. That's not confirmed. Don't take my word for it. Just speculation at this point. So the fact that Senesi is not there this time around, that hurts. That potentially hurts his chances of being at the World Cup for Argentina, especially when, you look at Facundo Medina, for example, he made the team, and, maybe some other players that did, and you're looking, well, okay, well, those players are there. In my opinion, I think they're not as good as Senesi, but Senesi's not there. So the fact that some other players are there and Senesi isn't cannot not be a good thing for him, to be very, very honest. So Foyth isn't there, Senesi isn't there. Another one is Lucas Alario, and Lucas Alario was part of the preliminary list of players for the June friendly matches against Italy and Estonia. Did not make the final squad. Now playing at Frankfurt, or with Frankfurt, the Europa League champions, and he's not part of this preliminary list, which in all likelihood will mean that Lucas Alario will not make the World Cup. So 3 players, 3 completely different cases. Foyth should be there, isn't because of injury. How does that affect him? Who knows? Marco Senesi suddenly not in the squad. How is that going to affect him? Who knows? And Lucas Alario, in this case, probably will not be making the World Cup team. Now, if we look at the different competitions for different spots at the World Cup, the main one appears to be, and that's what everyone's talking about, appears to be Paulo Dybala and Angel Correa. Both tremendously talented players. If it were up to me, I would take both to the World Cup. Dybala looks a completely different player at Roma under Jose Mourinho. I love the fact that he moved there. I tweeted about it. I mentioned it there. So I'm very happy for him. Angel Correa, extremely versatile as well. Very, very intelligent. A very good dribbler. A good eye for goal. I think they both bring different things to the national team. The main difference right now is Dybala is playing. Correa is not. Correa is not getting the regular minutes that maybe he deserves. I've mentioned it before. I think Correa is severely underutilized by Diego Simeone, underrated by many. I very much think he's underrated. I think he's a fantastic talent, very, very good squad player, can change a game when he does come on. And he's the type of player that performs well, even if for whatever reason he might not get the I'm not going to say the support, but maybe his confidence isn't 100%. He's still going to perform and he's still going to do well. So that's one thing to look forward to in regards to a potential spot for the World Cup between Paulo Dybala and Angel Correa. And the other big one as well is the goalkeepers. Now, Emiliano Martinez, Dibu, he's going to be the number 1. Franco Armani is going to be the number 2. Whether I agree with that, whether you agree with that or not, whether I don't agree with that, it's not our decision. Armani's going to be number 2. And number 3 appears to be between Juan Musso and Geronimo Rulli. Both of them doing very well for their clubs. Which one is going to get that number 3 spot? Who knows? Do we see something like, Dibu plays one of the matches, or Dibu plays 45 minutes in one and Armani plays 45 minutes in that one? And the second match, we get 45 and 45, right? Musso plays the first half, Rulli plays the second half. Who knows? But that will be very, very interesting to see how that plays out. Now, unless Scaloni decides to go with 4 goalkeepers, which I don't think he will, and I'll be very honest, I think it's kind of pointless to go with 4 goalkeepers for the World Cup. So if he does go with 3, who's going to be the odd man out? Is it going to be Rulli? Is it going to be Juan Musso? We'll see. Let me know. What do you guys think of this list? Who would you pick between the likes of Rulli and Musso? Who would you pick between Dybala and Correa? Or would you go with both? What do you think of Alexis McAllister's inclusion? Would you include Juan Foyth, Lucas Alario, Marco Senesi? Let me know. What are you guys thinking? Now, once more, this is the preliminary list, so not the final list. The final list is expected in the next couple of days, so pretty soon. But this is the preliminary list. So some players will be cut come those 2 matches. If you like what you saw, hit that like button. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and hit that notifications button to be the first person notified as soon as a new video drops. Once more, my name is Roy Nemmer of Mundo Albiceleste.com, and thank you for watching.